Hi everybody, welcome to Let's Talk Chiropractic. I'm Dr. John, your host. This is my good friend Dr. Alex. This is Denise Baez. As you can tell, she just got pregnant 2 weeks ago. Now you do what you say in about 2 more months?
Oh no, I'm actually due next week.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay. Well, what's exciting about this show is many pregnant women, Dr. Alex, don't know it's safe to go to a chiropractor. And as you said just earlier, her doctor even referred her to you. So it's exciting. So this is a beautiful show. I think bringing a baby into this world, the better the spine is, the easier the birth will be. So let's listen to her story about how chiropractic is safe for the mother and the baby during pregnancy. So go get a glass of water and come back and watch the show.
Hello and welcome back to Let's Talk Chiropractic. So I'm here, Dr. Alex, with Dr. John and Denise. Denise, who's wonderfully pregnant.
Yes.
How did you know to first start coming here?
Actually, I got referred by my OB. She actually told me that it's good for me to get my pelvic adjusted by a chiropractor. So I was already seeing you. I was actually seeing Dr. John before, but he was on vacation. So I called in. They told me to if I would like to see another doctor, and I had no idea there was another doctor here, and that's how I got introduced to you.
Yeah, a wonderful introduction was made, yeah. That was part of me. I'm skipping over. Who is Denise, right? Who is Denise? So tell us a little bit, whatever you feel comfortable telling us about yourself.
Well, my name is Denise, of course. I am 20 years old. I am a mother, about to be of 2. I do nails.
Like a cosmetologist?
Yeah, I
There
did
you go.
cosmetology school, and I do nails now. And I just work from home, remotely sometimes, and I come here, see my doctor. I'm ready to give birth and meet my little baby.
Right. So you were seeing Dr. John before. He goes on vacation. You come, you start seeing me, and then you're stuck with me. But you could bounce back and forth sometimes?
I've been coming weekly.
Right,
because of
your hips get out
hips
pretty bad.
always, so.
And always what I tell the pregnant ladies in the last 6 weeks, and I don't know if you do the same, the strategy I had coming out from school was it's good to have once a week for the last 6 weeks, just to make sure we have everything moving properly.
That's a good idea.
Yes.
Because they are so slick in those last weeks. The hormone is called relaxin. And guess what? It relaxes all the ligaments. So, and you've seen that.
Yes.
And sometimes it can be pretty uncomfortable, yeah.
Very.
I think most of the time you come in, what kind of pain are you normally in?
Lower back mainly.
Yeah, some pelvic pain.
Yeah.
And recently pressure,
Pelvic
right?
pain. Yeah.
Yeah, the pressure's been...
lot of
Well, that's
pressure.
good, though. We need some pressure to get this thing moving.
Well, he better start moving soon.
And remember earlier in the case, you were worried where he hadn't flipped yet?
Oh, yes. That was...
Elijah hadn't flipped yet?
Yeah, Elijah. Yeah. That was a big worry. I actually... he was... At 22 weeks, he was breech. And I was a little worried because I didn't experience that with my first pregnancy. And when they told me that to not worry about it because it's normal and that he most likely will flip. But I came here, I saw you. You actually spoke some sense into me and got that out of the way, and you kept feeling him, and he actually...
Yeah, those
moved.
round ligaments. That's the most important thing, to get those stretched out. If you're worried about the space to make him able to move, he'll figure it out.
Yeah, you showed me
Just give him some space.
the massages to do.
Yeah,
I
good.
did them and they worked.
And you did great. Yeah, you created lots of space in there.
Now he's ready to go. We're just waiting on the time.
Yeah, I almost thought last time I saw you a week ago, I didn't think she was going to make the week, Dr. John.
Yeah. Needed
So this is her second baby now, right? You know, a lot of women at this point, when they're lifting the first child, picking up their little dollies or fixing up the house, that's what's tough on the back.
Yeah.
Because you have to take care of the first child to get prepared for the... Because your first baby's how old now?
He's about to be 3.
Yeah, so that's still a young one.
The crazy thing is my due date is his birthday.
Oh, wow.
So let's see.
Then you won't forget the birthdays then.
Nope. We'll just do one party. 2 cakes.
Wait, so he's turning...
He's going to turn 3.
So he's going to turn 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
in 7 days.
That's a pretty good gap. Yeah, they'll be friends. That'll be great.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. All right. stay tuned. We've got more to talk about with Denise and how exciting it is to go through chiropractic when you're pregnant and safe. So go ahead, go get a drink, come back. We'll be back in about 2 minutes, and we'll see you then. Hello and welcome back to Let's Talk Chiropractic. Dr. Alex, Dr. John, Denise here, and we're talking about Denise's pregnancy and her chiropractic care, how we're guiding her through it. So, when you had your first baby, it was a pretty good delivery, right?
Yeah.
Right, but natural, but you ended up having to do the epidural.
Yes.
The pain was too much.
Yeah, it was my first time. I never experienced it before.
And I'm sure when you're in that terrible pain and they say, "Hey, do you want this miracle that'll cure you of all your pain?"
I'm like, will it go away? And they're like, yes, it will.
And was it a good epidural? They did it properly?
Yeah, they did a good job.
Good.
But after, it's not so good.
Right, the recovery is a little worse. Yeah. And you've heard, I'm sure, how the epidural can sometimes be a little bit dodgy.
Well, for some girls who are going for the first time, remember the space in the vertebrae, epidural means right above the epidural mater. There's 3 coverings to the spinal cord. So the anesthesiologist wants to put in anesthesia to numb your bottom. Mm-hmm. So there are some girls who, they get tired after their 4th, 5th, 6th child. Mm-hmm. They won't have epidural shots to numb their bottoms. But Dr. Alex, that an epidural shot might give her less pain. But there's always pros and cons to everything in life. So what's the con side to epidural shots? Right,
and to be fair, some people do have very large exposed nerves that their pain is at, birth is birth, right? It's supposed to be terrible. Yeah. But beautiful and terrible.
It's beautiful.
But some people, it is excruciating. And there was a study done on nerve sizes, and some women just have been gifted and cursed by God to have incredibly well-functioning nerves. But yes, when you have the pros and cons, epidural, you do put yourself at risk for spinal infection. And sometimes if it doesn't go well, let's say you're in the middle of a contraction and they're trying to put it in, they can only get half, they can miss, there can be little errors. So I always say, and this is what I'm telling you with the second one, right? Decide before you go in.
I'm committed.
You're going to go for
no epidural?
No epidural? Oh, we'll see.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah, you have a good support system?
Yeah.
Someone to remind you? You can do it?
This, yes.
Good, I'm glad.
We can do it.
Yeah, and having the natural birth without the epidural, hopefully that postpartum might be easier, right? Because the first time, the postpartum was a little harder.
Yeah, on my back, especially my son, he was 8 pounds, 10
Oof.
pounds. Yeah, so he
for
was heavy.
first?
Yeah, for my first.
Oh my
and
gosh.
This one, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. I got an ultrasound. They told me he was 8 pounds, 4 ounces. And I'm not even due yet.
That's a big baby.
Let's see.
That's a big baby. And to share with you, I have seen natural births for babies. I think the largest I've seen was 11 pounds, and that was my brother.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't there to witness it, thank God.
My mother
yeah, that's a big one.
birthed my brother 10 pounds. That's Jonah. Yep.
And you've seen plenty of large babies, right?
And that's just it, Jonah. Her brother Jonah is who I know for all of these years, and if he was a 10-pound baby, because he's not a real big guy these days, but some women, they get that gestational diabetes where their sugar rises during pregnancy, and a lot of times some girls get carpal tunnel during pregnancy.
I have that.
So just from swelling. So I always tell girls, don't worry about it. As the body delivers the baby, the swelling subsides, the carpal tunnel goes away. So a lot of these things that happen during pregnancy, our job is just get that spine alignment, make it easier to deliver the baby, and then after the birth, make sure the back, because again, changing diapers, carrying babies in and out of cribs, waking up 3-4 times a night, it is not easy being a mother.
Yeah,
and you've been there for 3 years, right?
And the recovery. You're supposed to be recovering, but you have to take care.
It's the roughest recovery.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the baby. So when that baby comes out, what did I tell you was the earliest you could bring the baby to see me? Do you remember?
As the first day.
That's right. You could.
Yeah.
I adjust my babies when they come out.
I had no idea that was even possible, honestly.
Right. Now, I do want to reassure people, it's not the same adjustment. I don't usually hear any noise. In special cases, sometimes with a lot of trauma, you'll hear a little tiny squeak. But I tell people, it's the amount of pressure that I use when I'm checking how ripe is that tomato. It's not much, right? It's just a little guided into place. And just knowing how to move it, right? Once you have that understanding of the vector, how that joint needs to move, you can take these little traumas, because birth is pretty traumatic.
Yes.
Birth is pretty dramatic.
For mom and for the baby.
Yeah, the baby too. The baby got squeezed through a tight area, and the mom's squeezing that thing through the tight area. So both of them. We don't expect everything to be perfect right when it's done, right? Nature's beautiful, but it's messy.
Yes.
So that's why we're here. Day one, my babies, when they come out, I always make sure there's nothing terrible, especially the top of the neck, right?
A lot of patients come to me. Their babies will have repetitive ear infections. They're like me, 9 months old. Multiple antibiotics. That's to me when there's something wrong. You know, a normal ENT doctor will give an antibiotic. If you have an ear infection, it should be gone. But sure enough, there's always like the cord is wrapped around the neck usually. Yeah. The baby's coming out and it subluxates. It misaligns the baby's neck. So at a very early age, you can just put like a gentle pressure point. It is such a joy, Alex, when those mothers can say, you know what? I was nervous about chiropractors. You were so gentle. Now my baby has no more ear infections, but that baby should have been checked even before all of that. So it's a challenging concept. Mothers right now watching that are pregnant are thinking, he wants to adjust my infant. But again, if there's a traumatic birth like with forceps, or remember cesarean, in America, it's much more prevalent to have cesareans than it is in Europe. Yeah. In America, doctors are in a hurry. I have doctors who will tell me they have a tea time for 12 o'clock. A girl's dilating at 7 a.m. If she doesn't have this baby by 10, 11, Pitocin. And again, these are doctors that are dedicated. They've done it for 30, 40 years, but they want to have their own lives too. So they've told me they will have this baby with forceps. So cesarean, they make a smaller hole, and as they turn that head to pull the baby out, that's when I tell these mothers, bring the child into us. Yeah. So I use this temperature machine that I have just to see how much it's off. But you can help prevent, because so proper nerve supply there, usually that's the first thing I see. A mother came in with a 2-day-old baby once. The head was off to the side due to the trauma of the birth. And even the surgeon said, go see a chiropractor. Nice. So it's exciting that even the medical establishment has realized we're not going to get that baby's neck and crack it. But we're going to be very gentle to get it back in place. Because he's actually going to adjust you tonight, I think, right?
Yeah.
And another one I see with the babies is where the jaw will open like that. And they'll have trouble breastfeeding, right? And so it's so easy for a chiropractor to fix it. For us, it's just dragging our finger across their face. But then, you know, sure enough, they're opening their mouth straight. And that breastfeeding, and you know how traumatic it is, especially your first-time moms. Remember, Beck, if the baby's not breastfeeding, you think, I'm a bad mother, right? You think, you doubt everything. You
feel like it's your fault. Yeah. But sometimes they just can't latch or...
Yeah, and that's why, right? Top of the head, right here, when they open their jaw. If it's opening like that, you know, try doing anything with it. You can't even suck a straw if your jaw's opening sideways. But yes, we will adjust you today. And it is quite a different adjustment when you're working with someone who has so much laxity in their spine. I don't have to push very hard, right?
No, it just happens.
Yeah, so... Stay tuned. We're going to come back and show what an adjustment looks like with Denise or any pregnant person, and how our table is specially made because we want to accommodate pregnant people. So go get another drink. Go ahead, use the bathroom. Come back in 2 minutes. We'll see you then, okay? Welcome back to Let's Talk Chiropractic. We're here with Denise, and I'm going to show you how we get on the table. So with a pregnant woman, we can't have her belly on this. So what we do is open it up. And now we have space. Now let me lower it a little bit for you. And she's done this a few times, so she's used to it. And look at that. Now I have so much trouble, I'm sure you do too, getting them off the table after we're done because they're so comfortable.
They like to be in their bellies.
Yeah, I'm sure. And it's fine if you take a nap, but eventually we do need the table back, right? So I'll check her alignment. Now with a pregnant woman, remember her joints are so loose. If I push too hard, I've heard horror stories about you throw it off on the other side. That's why I have to be very gentle. And having worked with my wife through 4 pregnancies, I've gotten some experience. She's off about a 1/4 inch. Not too bad. You were a 1/2 inch, I think, the last time I saw you, right?
Yeah, I'm always off.
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't know if it's bad habits or just pregnancy. What should we blame? But her hips do tend to fall off a lot. I think they were falling off a bit before she was pregnant. So she's got a history here of having these hips that won't listen. So I'm going to take this hip gently, and I'm just going to, I use my knee a little bit because it's a little bit too high. So let me lower it. I always give 3 drops. I felt it move that first time. But if I'm gentle, I won't over adjust. Yeah, now it's not moving as much. It feels like I'm just making sure it's secure in that joint. Now, and Denise is very brave, so she's been requesting me to do side posture recently, where I put her on her side. Is that something you want to do today?
Yes.
We'll show it, but you are even now. So we'll show it for the low back. Now, this part of her spine, and everybody's different, tends to twist a little bit, so I'm going to breathe in and out, and I just kind of unscrew it a little bit. And there it is. That's all it took. It opened right up, right, Denise?
Yes.
Breathe in and out. I'm going to see, I'm gauging it as I go in. And it doesn't need anything right there. She does have some tightness. Yeah, and in this neck too. So I'm going to start it off. Since I've got her so comfortable on her face, I'm going to start off like this. I could do this one with her face up. And now we can't have her rolling because the table's opened up. So if you don't mind. And we've been doing this once a week for the last 4 or 5 weeks. And I'll just keep doing once a week until it's time to go. And when she finally misses that appointment, I'll know that means Elijah came out and he's into the world, and hopefully I'll be getting a report on him that he's nice, healthy, and happy and has all his fingers and toes. Do you want to do the side posture one?
Yes.
All right. So we will do both sides because the hip was off, but just to make sure it's in the joint. What I like to do, if I've already corrected the joint, I like to do the side posture because with that, all those ridges in the SI, it's nice to know that it fell in. And if I get no noise, great, it was already in. But sometimes, right, you get that little, it just falls into place.
I tell people everything in life has pros and cons. That gentle Thompson table is more gentle,
Right.
but sometimes I don't think it lasts as long. So this technique now, if the patient's comfortable, it's a little bit more aggressive. You lay on your side, you bend up your knee, but it holds the alignment longer.
Right, and I learned being forced to with my wife not having this fancy table. I had to learn how to be gentle, even with the side posture, because I had to get her moving. You know, she's in pain. She's about to have another baby. All right, we'll lay down, try to get comfortable. I know you don't know how to lay every time we do this, but that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. We'll sort it out. So as we're going down, for most people, I would just have them turn while laying down. You know, it's a little awkward to go down on your side. Or with Denise. Now look at this belly's in the way, right? I just don't bring the leg up as high. And I do like to check to see the tension because we had issues with this round ligament. Right here, if the baby isn't turning, it's great, right? You just rub that round ligament a little bit, give it some room. It'll open right up. Your belly might get bigger. But my wife always said it was fine to have a bigger belly because then people knew she was pregnant and not just putting on weight. Right? Isn't it good? So I'm going to climb up a little bit. We'll straighten out this leg. I could tell something was a little off. And now I can still get tension in her back. And just a little turn. Just like that. Not too bad. That one was for her low back. She was brave. I'm dressing her the same old way that I do every pregnant woman, just face down and face up. We'll do the other side. But she's brave. She tells me, hey, I really like that one where I'm laying on my side. Could you do that still? I said, sure, I can do that. And, you know, I said, just talk to me. Tell me if it's uncomfortable. I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. We trust your body. You're the one hooked up with that baby in there. If you don't feel comfortable, you think something's a little off, we just go with your instincts. Now with this one, I'm going to give it a little baby drop. And it was already in place because we did set that hip already. Face up. I'll crawl around this way. How's your neck been?
It's been better.
Remind me, do you get headaches?
Not often.
Not often, good. Yeah, that's what got me into chiropractic. It was migraines. You know, it's like a gift and a curse because if not for my migraines, I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
Right, but those things, they are the devil, you know. They're awful. Sorry about the cold fingers.
It's okay.
It's what happens when I don't see people for an hour. I'm doing the show. Because we did Dr. John's show right before this one. All right, and relax. Pretend there isn't a camera. Good job. And that's what I want with a pregnant woman. I don't want a big loud noise. I want a little clunk moved into place. Because like I said, a dramatic adjustment on someone that's loose would just make you spasm up and feel uncomfortable. It would not be good. So we're gentle. We're gentle, gentle, gentle. Not that I'm rough with people who aren't pregnant, but it's especially just one thump. That's what I like to hear. That's not a bad neck. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I know, it's good. So, in your experience when you're dealing with a pregnant woman, do you find it takes a lot less effort? It's like an easy job for a chiropractor when you're working with them?
That relaxing is not just preparing her body to deliver the baby. I think everything in her body is more flexible. So the neck does it, just adjusts more gently.
Oh yeah, it's so easy. Babies and pregnant women are our easiest, and people are so afraid, they're the easiest thing for us to fix. It's like if you bring this beautiful newborn Elijah in maybe a day or a week, we'll see. I get a smile on my face, not just because I love kids, because I know whatever problems this baby has, this is my easiest patient today. You know, it's not like, I hate to point fingers, but it's not like, you know, my war vet grandfather who was in the Navy for so long coming in all crotchety. No, it's not going to be that. Easy peasy. No pressure, no force, no strain. Baby talks to me real easy, naturally. And pregnant mamas too. Pregnant mamas, super easy.
Let's bring her up. Denise, in conclusion, if there are women who are pregnant watching this show and they're afraid to see a chiropractor, what would you tell them?
There's nothing to be afraid of. This is the best experience I've ever had throughout my whole pregnancy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a compliment. Yeah, I appreciate that.
It's exciting for me. She said it. When she was about 10 years old, she started coming to my, she learned how to swim. For me, it's a joy, 10 years later, to see this beautiful woman now having her second baby under your care. So it's a beautiful thing to see. It really is.
It is beautiful. Thank you. And yeah, it's very wonderful.
You're in good hands. He's a good man.
Yeah, both of you are.
Oh, stop it.
Okay, I guess we're done.
Yes, thank you. It was a wonderful to show you what it's like for us to treat a pregnant woman. I hope this alleviates some concerns people have. And I never want to hear, especially other healthcare doctors, saying that it's not safe. Look, this is safe. We're gentle people. This is a healing place. And thank you. Thank you for watching the show.